Good evening, good evening. I am going live today and I will wait for some of us to come on. But I want to, as people know, that I do own a daycare. I do own a daycare and a child care or an academy. And I want to say today is a very, very sad day. Today is a very, very sad day. But it is a day that we could learn from. It is a day that we can learn from. Yesterday, I want to say in New York, there were 4 kids that were in daycare that lives were changed due to drugs. And I want to say 3 of them are fighting for their lives and 1 of them has died. These children were at daycare, at a home daycare, I believe. Don't quote me on any of this. It is on the news, and if you want to see it, I'm sure it will be on the news tonight. But there was a young lady who owned a daycare, and somehow these kids got a hold of a drug or drugs while in her care at a home daycare. And I can only say that to those of you who know me, I own a daycare. I voice my opinion. I will say again, this is my opinion. And this is basically, honestly, what I talk about. Children's lives were lost. And will ever be changed. Their lives will always be changed. And my condolences go out to those parents. If I had arms that were long enough, I would want to hug every last one of those parents. And I can only say to them, I am so sorry that this happened in a daycare center. I am so sorry. Is basically what I want to say to them. Today's a hard day because, I say we don't want to put blame on anybody right now because investigation is going on. I would hope that this young lady would never, ever be able to own another daycare in her life. It's just not her calling. It is just not her calling. No matter what, there is licensing. There is the state that comes around and goes through these daycares and these home daycares to make sure we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. And the number one thing is to make sure the kids are safe. That should be the state's number one thing. But, I think that parents just don't know what is really going on in the daycare world. Things have shifted. Things have changed. I will say this over and over again. Things have changed. Is it sad that a child got a hold of drugs in a daycare center? It is extremely sad. Should it have ever happened? No, it never should have happened. But did it happen? It did. In the world that we're living in today, in our educational world, we're fighting to keep our history in school. We're fighting to keep literature in school. That's what we're fighting for. But yet, the state comes around and their job is to make sure that the kids are safe, right? And they come in and their number one thing is, can I catch you without your background screenings done? Can I catch you with your staff have not completed their trainings? Can I catch you that, during your fire drill that your staff forgot to take out their attendance sheets? Instead of making sure, their first priority is to make sure that all the kids got out safe. For me, I think that would be the most important thing. But things have shifted. Things have shifted. And today my heart is heavy because we will have a lot of people come and speak out on this. There are some that are speaking out right now and say, oh, the number one thing that parents should do is make sure your daycare has cameras and you have access. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It helps. But it doesn't stop bad things from happening. Bad things are going to happen. Can we prevent them? Yes, we should be able to prevent them. And there are so many things we prevent every single day as directors, as teachers. We prevent a lot of accidents from happening. We do. But I have to say at this time, the drugs getting into these kids' hand, it wasn't prevented. It wasn't. And, you know, the sad thing of it all is that we need to start thinking about the children. We need to start thinking about the safetyness of the children. That is what we need. I right now am in, I'm telling you, just because this is what I'm going through, we are in the middle. Let me speak for myself. I am in the middle of trying to renew my license with licensing with the Department of Education. And their number one thing with me is we want to know the size of your septic tank. Are you kidding me? Are my kids safe in the classroom? Are my teachers making sure there's no, alcohol out? There's no detergents out? Are you making sure I'm administering medication to the children correctly? Lives have been taken because we are not, as adults, we are not focused on the right thing when we go into these centers. All child care centers are not bad. All daycare centers are not bad. They're just not. There are some that have accidents, and what are we going to learn from this? That is what I'm at. What are we going to learn from this? And there is where I stand. It's not the situation, it's what do we learn from the situation? Because we can't change the situation now. We need to learn from it. It's happened. And now we need to learn from it. We need to learn from it. And I have to say, the states and where you are and who's coming in these daycares and child cares, even the schools, primary, elementary, middle school, high school, even you guys, you coming in, Department of Education, know what you're looking for and know that safetyness comes first. Safetyness comes first. I'm just saying, we had a fire drill. The state came in. They wanted to do an emergency fire drill. My 1-year-old babies just went down for nap. And I have to stand and I have to say at this time, the individual person through Department of Education, she basically said to me, she said, I'm going to violate you on something because it's a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, well, what is it? Unannounced to myself. She's like, well, if I tell you, it defeats the purpose. You're absolutely correct. I don't know why I asked you that. So I didn't tell my teachers. I hit the buzzer, let the fire drill go off. And I said, over my walkie-talkie, get your walkie-talkies, get your clipboards. Get your walkie-talkies, get your clipboards. Let's get the kids out of the building. That is what I did. It's what we do all the time when we do our fire drill. But this just happened to be at nap time. This fire drill was at nap time. I had 9 1-year-olds sleeping with 2 teachers. 9 1-year-olds sleeping with 2 teachers. My cook always goes to my 1-year-old classroom when we have a fire drill. So I had 9 kids sleeping with 3 teachers to get those sleeping babies up out of that burning building. And they ran, and I was like, clipboards. And one of my teachers, I was like, where's your clipboard? Where's the clipboard? I was looking for the clipboard as the director. And because at nap time, that's when they do a lot of their reports and they send it off to their parents, it was sitting on the floor. She ran back in. She knew where the clipboard was. She got the clipboard. She headed back out. I made sure all my kids were out. All of my kids were out of that building in 1.39 a minute and 39 seconds. That was powerful to me. During a nap time. And that licensing person said, not congratulations, you got all the kids out and they were sleeping very good in 1 minute and 39 seconds. How great. Nope, I'm going to violate you because your teacher had to go back in and get the clipboard. 1 out of the 5. Everybody else has their clipboard and their things. We do it once a month. We're focused on the wrong thing. Because for me, in my head, I was like, well, I don't even care. I just thank God that we got all the babies out. and they're all safe. That is my first priority. Safetyness. The children. Safetyness. And so I have to say to those kids that were hurt in that daycare center yesterday, I am so sorry that you got attached to drugs. I am so sorry for their lives will ever be changed. Those parents, the one that died, life will ever be changed. And I have to say, daycare and childcare is not easy. It's not easy. But to all my daycare workers, I want to say to all of you, my daycare workers, thank you. Those that do good, those that come in and do your job and try so hard, thank you so much for what you do. Directors, daycare owners, academy, childcare owners, thank you so much for all the hard work that you do. For somebody made a mistake, and we're going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it. I just have to say from the bottom of my heart, I work hard. I round my classrooms. I circle my teachers. I make my teachers stay in training. We have a vacation day coming up now that we will be closed, but my teachers will all day long being an all-day training. We have to do it. We have to protect the children at all costs. You see something, you say something. Now, my teachers, you understand why we tell you don't bring your purses into the building. Don't do it. Because you never know when you may forget your medication in the purse and a kid might get a hold of that medication. We have rules for a reason. And I will say today is a sad day that we lost children in a daycare in New York, Brooklyn. Wake up. Whatever licensing agency you have in Brooklyn, wake up. You need to round that you are doing what is best for the safetyness of the children. I don't care about the trainings. I don't care about the clipboard. I care about the children, that they are safe at all costs. That is what is important. Anybody who has attended my school, you know that safetyness comes first. I have cameras in my building. Do my parents have access to them? No, I don't, because I don't have time for a parent to tell me like, hey, why did she call me? Why does she have on a different outfit? She's in the pretend center. That's a waste of my time. And that is the reason why I do not give access to my parents. Now, I will tell you this. Something happens in my building, I tell my parents, I will go to my cameras and I will show you what is right and what is wrong is wrong. You have to learn from it. That is how I take cameras. But to all the parents that have no other choice but to put their kids in childcare, I say this, and I will always say this. Your number one thing is to make sure you are close to the director or the owner. Make sure you communicate with them. Make sure you speak to them. Make sure you understand them. That is who you want to be with. That is who you want to like the most, not the teachers. The teachers come and go. The owners, they do not. They're there for the long haul because that's their business. That's their livelihood. The directors are directors because they're leaders. I just ask all of you today, everyone that has kids, I ask you to pray for the families that trusted this daycare to protect and watch their children while they made a living for them. Pray for them today. Pray for them. When you go to your child carers on Monday, hug your director. Thank your director. It is your director who is accountable for everything, that has to do her rounds, that has to make those decisions, that has to check the staff, that have to make sure that they're okay. I watch my children just like I watch my staff and I watch my parents. And when I see that my teachers are not okay, I tell them, I'm like, you need a vacation. It is time for you to take a vacation. We have to take care of each other. We do. We do. So today I leave you with, those of you who have to put your kids in childcare, daycare, and academy, whatever. Please, the number one thing, be very close to your director. Believe your director, because I'm telling you, there are things that happen in daycares and things you probably don't know about. But if you're close to your director and your director feels the trust, she will feel comfortable talking to you and telling you the truth. It's sad, but it is true. That is what you need. You don't need the cameras. You need to have a relationship with the director, because that is your mother away for your children away from home. The director is the mother for your children away from home. So it's very, very important today. I come to you and I ask all of my moms and dads to please put up a prayer for those 4 families that are in New York, the Bronx, that lives have changed because those kids have got attached to drugs, have come in contact with drugs at childcare when they were at daycare. Pray for them. And I just ask all of you, please, please remember, the safetiness of each other and everybody is important. The drugs has to come to a stop. It has to. It's being misused. It's being misused. It's taking over the world. It's taking over lives. And it's not fair that we're losing children, innocent children behind it. So today I leave you. May God shine down upon all of you today. May all of my babies come back to me safe on Monday. And I just want to say, please put out a prayer to the 4 children that did get involved with drugs this weekend at a daycare. Put out a prayer and thank God, and thank your director and thank your teacher when you go back to school on Monday. Signing out, Sarah Ashe from Alford and Ashe Academy.